All right. So hello and welcome everyone to our monthly Anansi community call for September. Let's go ahead and jump in. As a friendly reminder, all meetings are being recorded and they'll be posted to our community YouTube. Now, we normally cut out the networking part of these videos, but the rest will be recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded, please stay on mute, stay off camera, or you can catch the recording once it's posted. Here's our agenda for today. We had our arrivals a little while ago. Right, pretty soon we're going to meet the team. Going to tell you a little bit about Anansi. We'll have our speaker, sponsor, and volunteer call, and we'll have our speaker time. First, starting off with Thomas, who's going to talk about Power BI. No, I'm sorry, Eric, who's going to talk about Balba, Thomas, who will talk about, I'm sorry, Albert, who will talk about Power Automate, and Thomas, who will talk about Power BI. Apologies, they're a little bit out of order on this slide. Then we'll have some networking time if we still have time, and then we'll close. So here is our Anansi Tech community team. Oh, as Harry is the host today, but actually I'm hosting today, Nakia Carter. But my team is on as well. We have Harry and Sigu, Ozora, and Imani. All right. About Anansi, we are a group of professionals, business owners, tech enthusiasts, newly graduated, a bunch of different folks coming together to talk about Microsoft technology, namely Office 365, SharePoint, Teams, things like that, Power Platform. We have our sessions monthly. Our community links are on this slide, but there'll also be QR codes at the end of this deck, and you'll have the ability to get the deck if you have joined our community. You'll be able to grab it once it gets posted. Would also love if you can get social with us while we're having these community calls. Please feel free to post using the hashtag Anansi Tech or Anansi Tech Community. All right, next up is the speaker, sponsor, and volunteer calls. So if you would like to be a speaker, if this is your first time, or even if you're a seasoned veteran, we'd love to host you. You can try out your presentation skills and get better. This is a great way to add something to your resume, but also a great way to be able to work on your stage presence and your presentation skills. So you can share your knowledge on tech topics that we talked about, Microsoft namely, but also topics on around tech career or around career in general. So things like branding, things like public speaking. We're interested in all those types of topics. Sponsors. Right now, this group is online group, but we plan to take it on-prem. We'll have a hybrid environment, actually. We'll have online and on-prem or in person. So if you would like to sponsor those events in the future, please let us know. Also, we plan on having a conference. It'll probably be next summer. Well, this coming summer coming up, and we'll need sponsors for that. Volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers to help us to make sure that these events run smoothly, to help us to get the word out, to help us host these events, and do everything in the background. So if you're interested in volunteering, this is another resume booster that you could use. All right, so now let's get into a few different community announcements. We have the Green Action Summit that will be happening in Ghana. It's going to be on I'm sorry, November 30th, another Saturday, and it's going to be in Accra. Here's another one. The Multimedia Group is partnering with Global Conferences. So they're going to have a conference on AI on October 24th and 25th at the Labada Beach Hotel. And here's another one. The Agile in Africa conference is coming up as well. That also will be in October. That'll be the 23rd and the 24th. So the 24th is kind of being taken up by two conferences. All right. So those were all of our community announcements. Now, this is just a quick reminder that this is a tech community. Each one should be teaching one. This is our motto. So please invite others to the community, speakers, those that want to attend and learn, and possibly maybe speak or volunteer later. But we'd like to grow this community to help you all learn, and we can grow and learn together. Okay, so now we're going to have a short video before we get into our presentations with our speakers. This one's for a gas and electric company in the States who saved some money using Power Platform.
My name is Thomas Bilbo, and I work for Pacific Gas and Electric. We are a California-based utility. We cover about 60% of California, which is the 5th largest economy in the world. And my role at PG&E is I am a principal product owner for the Microsoft Power Platform, covering Power Apps, Power Virtual Agent, and Citizen Development. We chose the Microsoft Power Platform because it not only gave us the robotic process automation and Power Automate, but we also had that citizen development component that could enable our business users to actually build their own solutions. So we have about 800 digital creators, but we have trained over 2,500 people. And we have 144 documented solutions that are being used today from them. And there's more being worked on every day.
So with the Power Platform, we're able to bring scalable solutions on a modern platform that essentially kind of brings value not only to our group, but also deliver value to folks outside of IT. Being able to capture, ROI, being able to manage and control, I guess, the different aspects of the Power Platform, connectivity, security. We're a utility-based company, so security is very important to us. So being able to control that data. So with the Power Platform, we're able to bring governance and structure.
We track our intake for work that we do. We track that in an intake tool, and we capture the hard and soft savings. And so we're now able to look across not just the work that we're doing, but the work that citizen development are doing out in the business. And that innovation we can now classify and quantify. What we've done, we've saved 82,000 hours of time and $2.3 million in hard and soft savings. That one emergency app, which is what we consider a citizen development app, is saving $1,080,000. So those kind of savings that we see really show the business that the value that the Power Platform is bringing because we're implementing these solutions in record time. We have created our first chatbot that we call Peggy. She fields questions for our Technology Service Center, which is like our help desk. So Peggy is answering questions that people may have about applications, about how to get access to something. And then we've just recently built into it an RPA component, leveraging both Power Automate and the Power Virtual Agent to where she can unlock someone's SAP password for them. The innovation that people have had in the past using just basic Office products is now something that's secure and in the cloud. The other thing is, because of it's such a low entry to start with, it brings really that sense of tech equity, so that everyone who is wanting to somehow leverage technology, they now have the ability to do it. So we like to say that we're giving tech equity to all of PG&E.
Alrighty.
COVID.
Let's go to the duplicate slide. Okay, so now it's time for speaker time. Like I said, we have first up, we have, let me move to Albert's slides, who is on the call right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Albert.
Okay.
All right, so there's your intro slide, and there is your, whoopsie, there is your your bio slide. Are you going to take over presenting?
Yes, so today I'm not doing any PowerPoints. I'm just going straight to business.
You're getting straight to the good stuff. All right, have at it.
Positioning my screen well. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. In our last meeting, one of our colleagues wanted a way around sending bulk email to their client. So they have a client, the client type being it a personal email or a business email. So we said we were going to have a demo on that this month. So that is what I am going to do. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if my screen is visible. Okay. So I've forgotten who the person was. If he's on call, he can just give me a wave so that we do this together. Okay. I presume he's not on call. Okay, Charles. Right. So in today's tutorial, what we are going to do is first of all to have a database of your clients. Okay. So I'm going to use SharePoint as my data source. So this is my SharePoint tenant. I'll go to new and then have a new list. I hope my screen is still visible. Okay, thank you. So whilst it loads, Charles, can you tell us how the schema of your database looks like? So I presume you have something like the name, either the business name or the person's name, their email address, as well as a type. So I don't know what you call it, what kind of type, be it a person business type or what. Just help describe the schema of your data source. Charles, in case you are speaking, we can't hear you, you're on mute. Okay, so I'll start
Hello.
from, yes.
Yeah, can you come with the question again?
Yes, I was asking if you can help with the schema or the structure of your data source, the one you use for the bulk SMS. Just describe how it looks like. So I'm doing this with you. Okay. So how should we even name our lists? If you can see my screen, what should be the name given to our list?
Um, last week, the last time we met, my question was about how the telcos send bulk messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
we presumed you had you had a problem or a challenge around that, and then you wanted to know how to go about it, if I'm correct. Or you just want
Actually,
to know how they go
just
about it.
wanted to know how they go about it. I didn't have any problem, but I was curious about how they go about the bulk messaging.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so then we are going to call our list, so the customer list, right?
Yeah.
So I am creating this in SharePoint. You can add more column from this section, but I prefer doing it from the main backend. So I go to site content for SharePoint. I scroll through my list where I see the customer list. I select the three dots, that is the ellipses, and go to settings. Now over here, you get a lot of I'm using the opportunity to walk you through a bit of SharePoint. So you get a lot of general settings. Up here you can delete, add permissions and all that, and this is where your columns are. So if you want to add a column, you just go to the create column section. I would want to edit this title and call it the name, so that this column will hold either the name of the individual or the organization. So I'll just say full name and select OK. We want to do two things with our action. Okay, so one is to identify the person type, whether it's a business or a personal email. Then we also want to get the email address of the customer. That is how we can send the email to the customer. So we already have the name. We are now going to identify it. So a column that would identify the person. So I'll go ahead to make it a choice. So we call it, I don't know how to name it, but I'll just do it person type, and then it will be a choice. So with this choice, the first one, I'll want to call it personal. And then the second one is, should we call it commercial or company?
Uh, yeah, let's go with company. I'm gonna help you out
Company.
with this. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you the feedback with this.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So company. I don't want any default. And then I would select OK. All right, so now I have the full name, I have the person type. Now I'll go ahead and then add the email column to it. And so just call this email. I prefer leaving it as a single line of text. And so I also have email. Okay, so now I have my three columns. The idea is, if I am sending an email, first of all, I need to address you. Dear Albert, dear Charles, dear Harry. That is personalizing the message, right? So that is why I have a full name. Now, because we are going to send messages based on the type of user, we need the person type. So if it's a company one, we want to structure it in a way. If it's a personal one, we want it to be structured in a way. So that is why we have the person type. And the email obviously is the email address we want to send it to. So we have our customer list. go ahead to populate our customer list. So I'll just do add new item. We can add our emails to the group chat. If you have two different emails, let me know. Just put the two in there, one for personal, one for commercial, so that when we trigger the automate, you would get both emails for the personal and the company one. So I'll go ahead with my full name, Albert Quest. I'm going to add this as personal and add my email address. And then I'm going to add a second one, which is going to be a company one. So this is company. Okay. I'm in the chat now. Okay. Harry, I see yours. Should that be okay?
And
Harry,
the
which
first
one?
one is the company, and Harry David Carter is personal.
Okay. So add new item. So this is for company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me do Harry.
How you not know that?
Okay, so we have Harry's company. And this is personal. Okay. Eric, is the Gmail your personal,
Yes,
or you
please.
want us to use it for both? We can use the same email for both though.
It's this now, but like, yeah, it's this now.
Okay, so I'm going to register it in the system as a personal one. So we have Eric Viafi. I'm going to add it again, and this time around label it company, so that you get to appreciate the beauty of the separate messages. Okay. After Eric, we have Harrison Asari. Harrison, should we do yours company and personal too?
Yeah.
Okay, so Harrison Asari. Personal, sorry, personal. And then we have Cleo Pong, that is for Charles. Charles, I believe that's your email, right? And so the first one, we'll choose the personal. Second one will be company. Okay, so we have our list of customers. We have Charles, we have Harrison, we have Eric, we have Harry, and we have Albert. We have their person type and their email address. Okay, so we now open our environment. Let me open from here. Power Automate. So in one of our tutorials or meetings, we learned about triggers. So depending on where you want to trigger the automate from, if you want to trigger it from Power Apps, then Power Apps is going to be your trigger. But if you also wanted to send it based on a schedule, say every month, every Monday, every week, you need to set that trigger as well. But in our case, I'm going to set it to a manual one, which means that anytime a button is pressed, it should send the email to our people. Let me add. Okay. I wanted to add a control where if it sends the email, it will check it as it's sent. Okay, let's do it while Power Automate is loading. So I'm going to add that column from here so that if you come back and then you realize maybe it truncated at a point, it will just continue from that side. Or if management asks you the list of email addresses that were sent successfully, you should be able to produce it. So I'm going to add that column. It will be a choice. And I'll call that status. The first one will be sent. How should we call the second one? New or not sent? So not sent. We don't have a third value.
Resend.
Resend. Okay, so we have resend. Okay. Okay, so we go to our create.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Let me go over it again. So I say good, thank you. So I chose the manual trigger, okay, and then I selected the plus sign here to add an action. Now, what I did was, because I want to first of all get the data I am going to use in sending the email, I did get. And when you do a get, you get the actions for most of the products that allows you to get data. Okay, so we have for SharePoint, we have for Teams, we have for Excel Online, we have for OneDrive, Outlook. But if we come to the SharePoint one, we have get items and we have get item. So someone may ask, what is the difference? With the get item, you are looking for a specific item. So what will happen is, if you choose get item, which I'm going to do, see the parameters here. First of all, you need the site address where the data is sitting. You need the list name, the name of the list itself, as well as the ID. So it means you are looking for a specific record, that is get item. Let me add the get items to the bottom for us to see the difference. So this is get items. With get items, you need only the site address and the list name. So that's the difference. With the ID, which is for get item, you are looking for a specific record. With get items, it's going to spool all the record for you, a top number of the record. Because we don't want to use the get item because we are sending bulk email, we are going to get rid of the get item and deal with get items. So with a site address, I'm going to browse where my data is sitting. It's on my communication site. And the name of the SharePoint list, we called it customer list. So this is what you see here. So you have customer list. At this point, we have the data. Let's look at the advanced parameters. Oftentimes, if we don't specify a top count, I think it returns 100 or probably less. So sometimes you need to specify the top count. So I'm going to specify my top count to be 150, which means it should get the first 150 items for me. Because our list is less than 150, we know we are going to get all. Okay. So from this logic, we have our items. What do we want to do? First of all, we want to send an email based on the type. So if it is a personal, we want to send a personalized email. If it is a company we want to send a type of email. In this scenario, we have two conditions, personal and company. So if we want to add an action, there is an action called the control. Selecting the control, you see a lot of controls, okay, but there is one that we are going to use based on what we are having. We have a condition. The condition is true or false. That is for a condition, true or false. We have the apply to each control. Apply to each comes up when you have multiple data entry in the same cell. So for instance, you have a cell that accepts multiple names or multiple emails, and then you want to send an email message to those people in that particular record. So apply to each comes in. Then we have the do until. So it's a condition or a control that you'd have to trigger for it to stop when something or a condition is achieved. We have our scope that is telling us that it's a block of actions and inherits the last terminal status. So be it a succeed, a failed, or a cancel one, an action should be performed. And then we have the switch. There is a slight difference between the switch and the condition. The condition is true or false. It's two. You can't go beyond true or false. But when it comes to the switch, you can go beyond that. So you can switch based on a particular event. So in our case where we have the person type being personal or company, if we are writing our conditional statement, we can say the company type or person type is equal to personal. So anything that is not equal to personal will return a false. But if it is equal to personal, it's going to return a true. But we know that if it is not personal, it is company. It can't be any other thing. So in this our example, we can use the condition. But in a situation where we have more than two, we probably have the personal, we have the company, and say we have a group. We would want to specify what each of the actions will do. So let's just do the condition first. And then let me also add the personal, although we are the switch, although we are not going to use the switch. Okay. Just to explain what I was saying. Now, if you look at the condition, we have true or false. You can't get anything beyond true or false. But if you look at the switch, we can add the first, which will be the first case. We can also add a second case. We can even add a third case, and so on and so forth. Now, as I was saying, if we have probably three of the person type, be it personal, be it company or group, we can say if it is company, so let's call this one personal. So I'll name this case personal. I'll call this one company. And name it case company. And this one would be group. Yeah, case group. So what I'm saying is if yes, and then the switch simply means what action are we switching on. So in this case, we can choose a value. So because you've already gotten the data from the get item, I'm going to switch based on the person type value. So the value of that record. And then we know the value is going to return either a personal or a group. Okay. So if it is personal, so if the switch, what we are switching on is equal to personal, the actions in this case, the personal case is going to trigger. So this is where we can customize the email body. If the switch is equal to company, this is where we are going to write our company logic. And if it is equal to group, this is where we are going to write our group logic. Yes, Harry.
I have a quick question before we move on. Does it make a difference if the spelling is wrong on the internal of one of these?
Perfect question. Nice question. So this is strongly typed. So we have personal. If I write personals, it is going to be different. So it won't trigger. So always make sure that what you are switching on and what you have as equals are the same. It is a
Okay, so
strongly typed. Yes.
if you click on case company, right? That A that's after N and company equal would mess that up, right?
Perfect. So this won't work. So this is what is going to come up. So this is the right spelling for company in our SharePoint site.
All right, that's fine.
You took it away from me, but thank you. Okay, so Okay, I'm going to leave it like this so that both will run. I wanted to do for just the condition, but I think I'll just leave it like this since it's parallel so that we can appreciate what it is doing. So this, we are switching on the person type. So we are going to run the logic for the personnel as well as the case company. Now let's come to the condition. The condition is strictly true or false. So when we select the condition, we can have numerous parameters in here. So we have the and, we have the or. So let's delve a little bit into the and the or. So the and means that, okay, let's just add a new item, add a row. What it's saying is that with this and, we want this, that's the first and the second, to be true before the statement is going to return a true. So my name is Albert Quist. I am a male. So we have, let's just say name here, and then we have, say, gender. Okay. So if name is equal to Albert, gender is equal to male, this is going to return a true because Albert is a male. And but if we choose the or simply means that we want just one to return a true, then the statement is equal to a true statement. But if we choose the and, we want both statements to return a true before the final output would be a true. Today we are doing a lot of learning. Okay, so now what are we switching on? We are switching on the same value, which is the person type value. Okay, and we are saying that if the person type value is equal to personnel, so now this will return true because in our SharePoint site, for the person type value, we have a section or one for personnel and the second one for company. So if it is not personnel, then it is company. So that's why I'm saying that in this case, it can only be a true or a false. Okay, so now, yes, and we don't have only is equal to. We have contains, is not equal to, is greater than, or less than. All the actions you can see here, you can play around them and then see how it looks like. So for our case, we have is equal to personnel. Now, if it is equal to personnel, let me, is equal to personnel, what do we want to do? So if this is true, this now means it is true. Now we are going to write the action for the true. So I go to the plus sign, and because I want to send an email message, we now look for send an email. Now, if you type in send an email, you see all other products that you can use to send an email. But in our case, I am going to use the Outlook. So send an email version 2. Now I have that here. So we have the 2, we have the subject, you have the body, just like sending a normal email. What then do we do? Because we already have the email address of the customer, we now have to browse it. So I'm going to use the button here, that's the thunder button. When I choose it, let me rename this to, instead of get items, let's name it get customer data. Okay. So I'm now going to get the email address from the get customer data. And because it's email, we already have email. I have my email here. So I select the email. What else do? We need to add the subject. Any help with the subject? As well as the body.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. So that should be the body. Thanks for coming. Or the
Okay,
subject.
yeah.
Okay, so while we think about the subject, I can go on. I can go on to do the body. So I want to greet by saying dear with the name of the customer. So this is where we pick the full name of the customer. So I put the full name. And mind you, this is for personal. So it's going to be a personalized email. What do we say? We appreciate your time. I've gone blank. We appreciate your time. And what? Nikki, I need your help on this. Z, Segu.
I just say I guess the subject could be, thanks for attending, and then appreciate your time for joining.
Okay, thanks for attending.
Mhm.
We appreciate your time for joining. Okay, so this is a personal email. Maybe we should add it to it. So this is a personal email to differentiate it from the company one. Okay. So we have this. Then after sending the
Yeah.
email, we want to update the status. So I'm going to write my update here. So it's the same thing. We want to update a SharePoint item. So now this time around, we choose update item. Then we go ahead to choose the site where our data is sitting and the name of the data, as well as the ID. This time around, we can get the ID from the customer data because you already have the ID, so the customer data. Okay. Let me see if I saved this so that it's going to save. Okay. Then now we can do for a false, and a false means it is not equal to personal. So the false, I am going to add another send email. The same thing is going to happen. I'll pick the email address of 2. And this is also thanks for coming. And so dear, I want to pick a dynamic name. The same thing, we appreciate your time for joining. This is a company email. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to
Yes.
suggest that you can, in the subjects, you can maybe include the personal or the company in the subject.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So a full stop,
So
and then we do the person type value. Okay. So the same thing, the person type value. And then we can also add the update to it. Okay, I'm just going to copy the action and then paste it because software developers are lazy. ID. Okay. Moment of truth. Let's test this. So the first one is just going to be a manual trigger. Let's hope the demo gods will be friendly to me today. Continue. Run flow.
Also good. Mm.
Okay. So I got 10 items and we are on the first one. Let's see how it goes. Please prompt me if you get any email notification.
All right, Albert, while you're waiting for that, folks to tell you that there's a question in the window from Kennel, or Kennel. Hopefully I'm saying it right, Kennel. Says, can you explain the trigger one more time? I noticed it's manual and not the automated when an item is created or updated. What button is it waiting for you to push? Is it on the SharePoint list?
Okay, he's typing again.
You can also feel free to come off mute if you like.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
all right.
I was gonna ask if I could come off mute. I'm not sure if that question was clear. I just wanted to understand the trigger. Since it's not like a automated trigger where it's waiting for the item to automatically be added to the SharePoint list. Is it a button or like what's triggering this flow?
Let me take you back to triggers. Okay. So if we look at the triggers you have here, we have the automated ones, be it when an item is created in SharePoint or you triggering it from Power Apps or anywhere. The instant one is where you want to trigger it yourself, as in if you have the Power Automate app, okay, from App Store or Play Store, you can use that to trigger the flow yourself. Or if you come to My Flows, right, where you see the button, you can play it and then it's going to trigger the flow for you. And then we have
Okay.
the scheduled one. Are you okay?
Yeah, that answered the question. I was just wondering where the button was. I wasn't sure if it was like on the list or something. My apologies.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Our flow is still running. Did anyone get the email notification? Okay. While it is still running, Harry got the email notification. Harry, please, did you get for personal and company? Harrison is typing. Okay.
I received 8 for the company and personal.
Okay. Okay. So
I
let's go
haven't
ahead.
received for personal yet.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do one for the switch. Although we have just 2 of the person type, it means the group, we are not going to get anything for the group. Okay. So for the case personal, I'm just going to copy the send email action here and paste it. I'm going to do same for the company. Okay, so now I'm going to test this again, and then let's compare the two. Okay. So email, person type value, full name. Email, person type value, as a full name. Okay, so we test this again. Please pardon me if you get multiple email messages because we are using 2 different actions here, one for the true or false and one for the switch. Okay, so now let's look at something over here. We are switching on the person value type, and in this case, let's look at our expression result here. The expression result says personal, so it means that for the first item we have here, which is the item with ID number 1, the person type is personal. So let's look at the branching. It branched to the case personal. So it has sent an email to the personal one. It sent an email, a personal email. I don't know who it sent it to, but I'm sure we are all going to get it. Now let's look at the second case. When I move to case number 2 and select the switch, it switched on company. The expression result is company. And so you can tell from here that it triggered the company one. So that's why you have this showing success, or the succeeded one. This, it skipped it because it didn't get here. Let's look at the third item. The third item, it is switching on company again. So you realize that it branched to company. Let's move to the fourth. The fourth switched on personal. So it moved to personal. So a switch on. The fifth is personal, sixth company. So, and so on and so forth. So if we have a case for a group, it's going to switch onto the group again. If we have another case by case, we can write the actions we want in the various cases. Unlike the condition, which is going to return either true or false. So if it is not true, any other thing aside that is going to be a false, or it's going to run under the false action. So let me know if we got the email notification. Anyone aside Harry? Harry, did you get the email notification again? For both personal and company? Okay, so Harrison got for both personal and company. Okay, so that is how the telcos, or not only the telcos, but the banks and some of the top organizations that deal with customers or sending emails to customers. This is how we mostly go about it. So there are instances, this is a flow or a code I've written before to be sending email messages to our customers. So this is a typical example of how we go about it. So in today's meeting, we learned about the switch and then the condition. The condition has only two outcomes, either a true or a false. And the switch, you can have multiple outcomes. So based on what you want to switch on, if it is more than two, or based on the logic you want to write, you go in for the one that best suits that logic. Do you have any question for me? And Charles, is Charles still on call? I believe so.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Charles, I want to believe you now have a fair idea of how the top organizations customize email messages and sometimes SMSs to their
Yeah.
customers.
But I think I have a question. I have a question right now.
All right, please go on.
So last time I don't know whether I was talking to you about it, but I was mentioning to someone that there is something called email where they prioritize the
Email
business
what?
emails prioritization, where they prioritize the business emails like ahead of the personal emails.
Okay.
Yeah, so because I'm asking this because I didn't receive any message at the moment, but I think Harry got a message on his email. So I don't know if you can explain a little bit on that.
Are you saying you didn't get any email message at all?
No, I didn't get any email message. I've been checking, refreshing for
Oh, yeah, the main reason why we are doing this.
Yeah.
Please confirm your. Oh, okay. Okay, I've seen it. I made a mistake in your email.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why.
I left the L in the
Oh,
mail.
okay.
Okay, so because of you, I'm going to trigger it again. Okay, so this this time around, let's just go back to. I'm going to show you another trick. Okay, so if
Okay.
we go to my flows, we can, when you select the
Yeah.
ellipsis for that particular flow and go to the run history, you can tell the ones that are successful and the ones that are running again. Okay,
Okay.
so let's just say I want to rerun this flow. When I select it, you see resubmit flow. So I'm just going to resubmit again. The one that is running, I want to cancel. So let me just cancel this one. So please let me know if you get, so this is the one we are running currently. Let me know if you get the
Okay.
notification.
Let me-
That's Charles Opong.
Yeah. Let me check my
Okay, so
spam and see.
yes, so whilst you are checking, we can go on if there is any question. Okay, Harry, your hand is up.
No question. I would just let you know I got the email.
Okay, I also got mine in my spam. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of email. I'm sorry, it's a demo. That's a lot of email.
Yeah. It
We
was
are we
like
are just we are just happy to see you. So if you see a lot, it's from us for you to know that we appreciate your time. We are appreciating your time multiple times. Okay, Charles, are
feel
you
the
okay?
love. Feel the love.
Yeah, a lot of love. Harrison, please go on.
Okay, so I wanted to ask when you were creating the SharePoint list,
Yes.
you were typing in the mails one after the other. So I want to know if, let's say, you have a separate file which contains all your mails, like how do you do that as a whole or as a bunch at once?
Perfect question. Gives us the opportunity to go into SharePoint. Okay. Let me know if you are seeing my SharePoint tab.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So Harrison, I want to believe, okay, you have you already have data, okay, and the data is sitting in Excel. So when you select the new and you select list, you see a lot of options. You see blank lists, you see from existing lists, you see from Excel, from CSV. So if you have an Excel sheet that already contains the data, you can select this. It's going to create the schema from the Excel sheet as well as adding the data, which is from Excel sheet. Please, do you understand? Okay,
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, any other question? No question for me. There is no question for me then. Nikki, over to you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. I believe will be Eric, or real name Kobane. I will run the slides for you, Eric. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I could see it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so like I said, next up is Eric Kwabene. He will be talking about the platform that help you be successful in the information age, which is Baobab. So go ahead and take it away, Eric. And I'll change the slide for you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I really enjoyed the previous section. It was very insightful. And
Yeah,
thank
you're
you very
very
much for
low.
sharing this.
Can you become louder? You're very low.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, that's better.
Okay. So thank you very much for the information shared recently. I think it's very, very useful. And thank thank you for inviting me for to be part of this family as well. Okay, so as you already said, I'm Kamila Yafi. And today I'm going to present on Baobab, right? So to start everything, Baobab is a platform that hosts almost all African countries. So it's made by and for Africans, right? So without further ado, just jump into what Baobab is. So Baobab is um, it's a social media platform, just like Facebook, YouTube, and all this stuff, but very similar to LinkedIn due to its purpose and the impact that we're creating, right? So it's a professional learning community for young Africans, right? So when you go there, you get to see other African countries who are also both those who are also from the francophone countries. They are also there, right? The overview is going to be simple. We are going to look at how Baobab is, how you can join the profile, how you can set up your profile. I think maybe I have to design a slightly different slide, maybe update the slide because they have they have been doing a little bit of touch on the app the website. So maybe next time I'll talk about the new features, right? So we have the feed feature, the courses feature, the opportunities feature, and the mentorship and events feature, whereby you can explore right on the app or the website. You can also they also have how you can also network on the platform and how you can join the platform today. Hello. Okay. So as I said, Baobab is the focus of Baobab is on the continent, on this continent, right? So it's trying to create a platform where all Africans can just meet at one place, with their ideas and all these stuff, right? So that's all about Baobab, right? So let's move on. Okay, so how can one join Baobab, right? So right, even on their platform right now, you just have to go to this platform, just like Baobab platform. You just sign up, just like it's here. You can sign up and log in with your email, and just like any other social media platform. Okay, so Baobab, this is where the catch is. Baobab, it's just like a platform whereby you can showcase what you do, just connect with a lot of people. So you can set up a profile just like any other social media platform, whereby you can see they have a headline section for you to tell what you're into, where you live, where you're from, your when you were like your date of birth or something like that. Not all of them, but just the month and the day. And you talk much about maybe what you aspire, a brief into about yourself, And one amazing thing is you can also link your LinkedIn profile and your website to this platform, so people can reach you directly from LinkedIn. Directly, when you find someone, you can just read them directly on LinkedIn if they have added this feature. Okay, so the feed helps you to the feed feature is more like any other social media platform where you can create a post. So just like LinkedIn, we've always create a post. You can also create a post on this platform, which is an amazing feature. Make it lively, where you can also comment, have some engagement with some colleagues from other parts of the world, which is amazing. So you can post pictures, quotes, success, and your achievement on this platform. And you can also people can also see your post and react to it as well. Okay, so one of the feature that makes Baobab stand out is their educational content. They offer a wide range of relevant courses tailored to uh, university students and professionals. So whether you're a student or a professional, there's a course for you. They have a lot of course from amazing universities. Some are in Ghana, Shashi University, and Arizona University as well. So these are some of the courses that they talk about: foundational skills, entrepreneurship skills, STEM knowledge and skills, digital skills. These are all courses that you can get full courses, which is very like they are all free. After purchasing them, you get a certificate, and it's hands-on uh, courses as well. And it's also self-paced. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so another amazing uh, feature on this platform is opportunities. So opportunities as in, I think I visited it this morning, and there's one great opportunity for Africans, and it's not out there. So it's more like they have some internal posting that is not, out there. So if you're on this platform, you get some opportunity that you can apply to. They share scholarship, and you can also meet employers during your just like similar to LinkedIn, but they are more focused on the African content, and they share stuffs for the Africans, right? Sure. So you get a lot of opportunity there as an applicant, either being a university student or a professional, regardless of your background. Okay, so Baobab also offer mentorship platform. So they have a whole course of mentorship whereby you get to meet someone one-on-one to have mentorships. And I think the company behind who is partnering with MasterCard Foundation is the Global Give Back Circle. And they have a comprehensive course on mentorship where you can get access to real life people who are doing what you want to do, who have dedicated their time to help, to take you through some of the stuff that you are aspiring to be. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the benefit of Baobab, I've already talked about the opportunities that it entails, personal development, that through the courses, mentorship, and the networking and collaboration, which are all available on Baobab platform, right? Okay, so as I said, um, Africa, we are the continents. We have two major languages, that's English and French. So we have a section whereby you can turn into French mode or English mode. So they have that kind. You can also message someone on this platform. You can get notification from if you find someone like your post, someone comment your post, you can get notification from that uh, aspect as well. Yeah, so that's some of the extra features of the Baobab platform. Okay, so how can one join Baobab? You just have to download it on your app, that being Play Store or Apple Store, and it's free. And as I said, you just have to register, and all the certificates, all the opportunities there, they are all free. The certificate, the courses on and then get a certificate too. And the university that taught you, or during the courses they taught you, it's more like they endorse it for you, which also add credibility to that kind of certificates and the skill that you have acquired. Okay, so next. Okay, so Baobab is a very great platform that is helping professionals transforming ideas and helping people get into the entrepreneurship. I've even started with one of their courses in entrepreneurship, and an amazing course. I'm really learning a lot about this entrepreneurship when it comes to the African continent, right? So it's great for both university students and professionals as well. They have comprehensive courses on Python and all these amazing technology, new technologies that people are paying huge amounts of money to learn it on other platforms. Baobab is offering it for free. You can also get scholarships, internship opportunity, and funding opportunities on the platform as well. Thank you very much, and I hope you have really learned something from this presentation. Thank you. I'm handing over to Nikia. Thank you for this opportunity. Bye for now.
Thanks so much for that, Eric. Now we have a few new folks on the call, so I just want to make sure that if there's any questions that you have about the Baobab platform, you can ask them now. Okay. All right. So next up we have, or last up, we have Thomas as our keynote. He will be presenting on Power BI. Thomas, you can go ahead and take over the screen with your slides, or however you plan on presenting.
Afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are joining the session from. My name is Festus, just like you saw my name and my profile on the screen. I'm here to take you through an introduction to Power BI for analytics and visualization. So let me talk a bit about myself, then I will dive into the session. So it's going to be practical. I'll just give you an overview of how Power BI works and how you can get started with reporting and visualization. So like I said, my name is Thomas Festus Kujo. I'm the lead trainer at Festman Learning Hub. So Festman organizes boot camps, and we also have our learning portal where you can also learn things on AI, data science, data analytics, financial modeling, cybersecurity, and then UI, UX design. So our goal is to help young people in Africa to transition into tech. So we organize boot camps on data science, data analytics, business intelligence, and then artificial intelligence as well. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP and also a Microsoft certified data analyst and also a certified trainer as well. So I'm here to introduce you to Power BI, how it works, and why you need to even get started using Power BI. So what we have on the screen at the moment is a sample of some of the things that you can do using Microsoft Power BI. So look at what Power BI is, how it works, and how you'll be able to get started. So let's start by looking at what Power BI is, because most of us might have heard about it, but we don't know what it entails or what it's all about. Now, Power BI is a business intelligence platform, and it's part of the Microsoft Power Platform, where we have the Power Automate, the Power Apps, and then others. So Power BI is one of them. Then at the moment, Power BI is also part of Microsoft Fabric, which is also one of the newest tools that we have within the data space. Now, Power BI, like I said, is a business intelligence platform, and the main goal is to empower organizations to turn their data into actionable insights. So if let's say you are a small company or a startup, you are looking at how you'll be able to get insight from your data and make decisions using data Power BI enables you to do that without needing any technical or sophisticated tools or talent. Now, the goal of Power BI or Microsoft again is to help to raise citizen analysts, people who are able to analyze and visualize data and empower organizations to make decisions without being core analysts or computer science or software engineers. With Power BI, you can easily create amazing reports and dashboards that will empower organizations to be able to extract insight from their data. So what we are going to do today, I will take you through the core things that you need to understand in Power BI, and then probably take you through some practicals of how things work within Power BI. So if you take the Power BI, we are looking at a number of things when we are looking at Power BI. We are talking about data connectors, we are looking at data sources, we are looking at data visualization tools, we are also looking at Power Query, data modeling, DAX, and others. Now, within the Power BI ecosystem, we have three major platforms. We have the Power BI desktop, which is the one I have opened at the moment. Then we also have Power BI service or Power BI online, and then we have Power BI mobile. So as a report creator or as an analyst or BI analyst, mostly you'll be working with the Power BI desktop, which sits on your PC. So with that, you'll be able to connect data to multiple sources. So right from my screen here, on the Home tab, here we have Get Data. So if you want to analyze data, the first thing that you need is to import the data that you want to analyze into Power BI. And then you'll be able to analyze it and then do whatever that you want to do. Now, once you are done with the report, and you want to be able to share this report with other stakeholders, whether inside or outside the organization, you need to be able to publish this report on Power BI service. So the Power BI service is a cloud-based platform. Now, the difference is that with a service, you can access it on your browser just with the internet access, but with the desktop, it sits on your PC. So the Power BI service is the cloud-based platform of the Power BI that enables you to share insights with people, that enables you to share reports with other people within your organization via emails, or if maybe you have a PowerPoint presentation, you want to be able to use a Power BI report right from there, you'll be able to do all of that. You'll be able to do all of that. Now, then we also have Power BI mobile. Now, when you have any reports or visualizations on Power BI service, you also have Power BI mobile, which you can download and then put it on your phone. Anytime you want to check up the update about what is going on within your organization, you'll be able to do that using the Power BI mobile. So for example, if you're a boss, you work in a company and you have traveled, you want to keep track of what is happening locally, what is happening within your organization. You can keep track of changes, new updates via the Power BI mobile. So these are the three major platforms that you'll be working with within Power BI. Now let's start with the Power BI desktop. Now, Power BI desktop enables you to connect to data from multiple sources. So whether the data is coming from database, data is coming from online platform, or the data is coming from Microsoft Excel, a folder, or a CSV or PDF, you'll be able to connect to that data using the Power BI desktop, right? So within this window, which is the Power BI desktop, if I need to import data, let's say data from Microsoft SQL Server, I have the connector here. So here, I don't have to set up anything. I don't need to build any pipelines to be able to move the data from the service, the Power BI, Microsoft SQL Server to Power BI. No, we have the data connectors being built for us already. So here, when I go to get data, you'll be able to see some of the common data sources. So if it's Excel workbook or from other Power BI model, or from data flows, database, SQL Server, or even data from a website, you can extract that into Power BI. You can also click on more and you'll be able to see all the data connectors that Power BI supports. So here you can see all of them. So you have folder, PDF, Parquet file, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Google BigQuery, Snowflake. We have a lot. We have a lot of data connectors, but some of them may not be familiar to you because we have a couple of them and different people are using different connectors. So it depends on the data that you have access to, what you need to work with, and then you can pick the appropriate connector. So let's bring in some. Now let me add a new page here. Okay. or maybe create an entirely new report. So I'll go to File, okay? So when you open Power BI, so Power BI Desktop, I forgot to mention, is completely free. So you can download it for free, put it on your PC, and you can start playing with your data. Now, when I open it and I go to File, I have this blank report. So I can create a blank Power BI report with nothing in it. So I'll go to blank report, right? Inside the Power Query editor. So up here, you will see the Power Query editor. So this is where you have all the tools that you need to clean and transform the data before you start with the data analysis. So you have to spend time to make sure your columns are on point. Sorry. All the rows have relevant data. If they are missing values, you'll be able to find all the missing values. And you'll be able to replace them. If you have to remove all the missing values, you also have the option to remove those missing values. So right from here, if, for example, I feel like I don't need this column, let's say this year column. If I feel like I don't need it, I just select it, right click and say remove, and this is going to remove the column. Very simple. If, let's say, I want to move all the other columns except this profit column, I can select it, right click and say remove other columns. All the other columns are going to be removed straight up. Now, the key thing about Power Query is that it helps you to transform your data, right? So it's just more like building ETL pipeline. Okay, you extract the data, you transform it, and you load it. It creates a pipeline where anytime the source data changes, you can refresh it and it will take the raw data and pass it through all the transformations that you have applied on the data. So right on this window, you see apply steps. So every transformation that you are going to apply will be captured here. So this is going to be the steps or the pipelines that the data will go through from the connection stage up to the final stage. So through this, I can automate the process if I have new data sets and I want it to run or I want to apply the same transformation on it. I just run it through this and I'll be able to transform it and come up with a final data set that I can work with. So everything that you are doing on the data is being captured. So if you remember the last steps that we took, we removed a column. So you can select this, and here you can see the formula. It says table.remove columns, and I remove the year column. I select this and says table.selection columns, remove columns, except the profit. So everything that you are doing is being captured. If at any point in time I feel like, no, I did a mistake with the transformation, what I just need to do is to come to apply steps, and I can remove the steps. So you see that I removed all the columns. Now I have reversed that operation that I did by removing it from here. Now the data is back. I can also use this to move the year column that I picked from there. So once you bring your data in, there are key things that you need to check out for. One is to make sure the column names are properly identified. So here you can clearly see that we have the column names here. That is very key. Then you must also ensure your columns have the right data types. If it's a date, make sure the data are properly indicated as dates. If they are numbers, properly indicated as numbers. Because if you don't do this and you move straight to Power BI, you may have issues if it's a date, because dates data types are special. They come with their set of functions and other things. If a date is not properly formatted as a date, you go to Power BI, it's not recognized. Most of the benefits or features associated with tables will not be available. So you have to make sure the column names, the columns have the right data types. So you see that aside the names of the columns, or preceding the names of the columns, we have ABC. This indicates that this is a text data type. But when you click on it, it exposes all the data types that we have within Power Query. So you have to make sure the column is having the right data type. So here we see that we have 1.2. Now, what type of data is this? When you click, it indicates that 1.2 is decimal. So this is a decimal data type, right? Now, when you scroll further, see that this is date and it has this calendar data type, meaning that this is properly classified as date. Okay, so you need to check those things before you start even transforming the data. Now, there are lots of things that you can do with the transformation, but here, let's assume that with this data, we don't have a lot of transformations to apply. So we are done. Now the next stage is load the data. For the data to go into Power BI, at the moment, we have not loaded the data, so it is not in Power BI. So what I need to do is to go to Home tab, and I'll say close and apply. Now this is going to close the Power Query window, and it's going to open up the Excel window. I'm sorry, the Power BI window. So now we are inside the Power BI window. So now we are inside the Power BI. So right on your right side, you see that here we have different views. Okay, we have the data, different tabs. So we have the data, and we have formatting, we have board, we have formatting, we have bookmarks and selection. When I pick the data, the one with the database icon, it shows me the data that we just imported. So if I click on this, you see that these are the columns that we have within the data that we imported. If I want to take a look at the content itself, I can do it from here. Now, you see that we have report view. That's the default. On the left side, we also have different views. Okay, so we have the report view. What we are looking at the moment is a report view. And then we also have the table view. This is where you can take a look at the table itself. So right from the table view, you can see the content of the table. So if there's anything you need to confirm, if anything you want to change, here you can't, unlike Excel where you can select a cell and delete something. Here you can't do that. Okay, you can't do that from here. So just to confirm the data that you are working with. Then we also have the model view, which gives you a diagram or a representation of the data model or the tables that you have within the Power BI reports. So here we just have one file, and it is financials. Okay, it is financials. So within here, if you have multiple tables, you'll be able to create relationships among them. So you'll be able to develop what is known as a single source of truth. You don't have the data sitting in different places and being independent, but they are connected in a way that enables you to be able to build comprehensive reports that are able to give you insights based on all the data which is driving within the organization, right? You have access to all the data which is running through the organization. So that is the model view, and then the table view, and then the report view. So the report view is where you actually develop your visualizations and your reporting, right? Just from here. So let's try with some examples. So within Power BI, we can analyze our data using formulas and functions, just like what you do in any data tools like SQL, Microsoft Excel, Python, or R. Within Power BI, you can also work with a number of functions. Okay, so here, if we want to create computations, we use what is known as measures to be able to create those computations or those analysis. Though there are other calculations that we can do, like calculated columns and calculated tables. But most of the calculations that you'll be doing in Power BI will be about creating measures. So let's create a very simple and straightforward measure. So within this table, you see that we have our total sales column. We have sales column here. We have this sales column. Let's say we want to sum it. We want to aggregate it. So be able to analyze this across different dimensions. We can create a measure. So right on the Home tab, we have calculations and we have new measure. I'm going to click on that. And here I'm going to call this total sales. And I can define the formula that I want to use in creating this, right? And the formula is very simple. I want to sum the sales column. So I'm going to call on sum, which is like the sum that we know, add or addition. Then with this, it says we need to provide the column name. So what column do you want to sum? We want to aggregate. We want to sum the sales column. So I'll pick this. That is it. Then I'll close my formula and then press enter. And now if you check, or if you take a look at the data, you see that now we have total sales. Like total, the L didn't come. That's the total sales. I'll first enter, and this has been saved. So we have our total sales here. With this measure, I can analyze it in so many ways. For example, I just want to see what the total sales is. I just have to check the box within the data view. When you check the box, it gives you the total sales here. Now it says the total sales is 118.7 million. Now, if I want to dig deeper and see, okay, this 118 million, what's the breakdown like if we are looking at countries? Which countries are contributing to this? I can click outside, and then I'll come to my data. I have country here. You have country in the data set. Yes, I have country here. So I just have to select it. When you select it, you see that it appears here. Then I can select the total sales again. And this creates the visualization right away. So I don't have to do anything. Just indicate the data that you want to visualize, and Power BI will create that for you. So we have the total sales by country. Let's say we want to look at the same total sales, but we are looking at it in terms of segment. I have to make sure none or no visualization is selected. If not, whatever you are going to select again is going to override what is there. So I have to make sure I don't have anything selected. Then I'll come to segment, and then we have the total sales. So I'll select this, and this also gives us another visualization. So I can put this one here. Let's say we want to see this in a pie chart. It's very simple. If you don't want this chart, select it. You don't have to delete it and recreate it. Just select it, come to the visualizations, and pick the visualization that you want. Once this is selected, whatever you are going to pick here is going to override the current visual. So I'll pick a donut chart. You see that this has changed the visualization, right? So I have this one here. Let's say we want to analyze our sales to see the trends, okay? We can pick the date column, and we can pick the total sales column. And we have a line chart. But instead, the line chart is really steep. Okay. But if you check the x-axis, you see that we have the day, the month, the quarter, the year. So Power BI visualizes this using hierarchy. So if you take the date, the highest hierarchy of a date is what? The year. Then from the year, we come to the quarter. Inside the quarters, we have the month. Then inside the month, we have the year, the days. So this is how this has been built. So at the highest level, we have the years. But if I want to drill down, I can click on this. Okay, and it drills down to the next level. I can click on this again. It drills down to the month. Then I can click again, and this drills down to the days. Okay, I can move up. So we are looking at the performance by month. So this is the year. This is gross sales by, or the sales, total sales by month. We have it here. If let's say I want to analyze the total sales by month name, I can pick month name and divide it. If maybe at the same time, I also want to show the unit sold, I can just select the unit sold, and you see how this looks like. Now we have a scatter chart. Okay, so Power BI has a lot of amazing visualizations. You just have to make sure you are picking the appropriate chart based on the data that you want to analyze. Okay, and creating visualizations are straightforward. Just select the data that you want. Power BI will create a default visualization for you. If you don't want it, just select the chart, come to your visualizations, and pick the one that you believe will work best for you. And in selecting your visualization, you always have to think about your stakeholders. What's their technical level? So you don't come up with something they can't interpret, they can't read. So you need to be able to make sure you really understand your stakeholders and the kind of things that you want them to be able to see from your dashboard. Now, so this is one report. If I want to create additional reports, I can add more report pages by clicking on the plus button here, and you can start building the report. Now, once you are done with the analysis and the visualization, as a data analyst, you are not the final consumer. Somebody must rely on your data to make decisions. Somebody has to make some steps. using the insight from your analysis. So let's say I want to share this with my boss. Unless I save this on a local drive or a shared drive where my boss will be able to access it. Or I can publish it on the Power BI service. So right on the Home tab, you see we have Publish. This is about publishing the report on the Power BI service. So I'm going to click on Publish. It will ask me to save my changes. I'll say Save. And I'm going to call this Anansi. So with this done, I'll just hit Save. Now this report has been saved. So I can go here and say Publish. Now I have already signed in into my account. So right from here, you see that I have signed in. So for you to be able to do that, you will have to make sure you are signed in. So I'll click Publish. And then we have workspaces. In Power BI service, we work with workspaces. Okay. So I have different workspaces here. So you just have to pick the one that will work best for you. So the workspace is about having groups on the same space whom you believe you can share the Power BI report with. So I'll just pick one of the spaces. So I'll pick First Man Test and click Select. Now here it says that the report has been published successfully. Do I want to open it or do I want to get quick insights? I'll say open. So I have to make sure I'm signed in. Let me look at the email here. So CT Festus. So I have to sign in into your account if you have one already. And getting these accounts are free, provided you have a corporate email or student email address or developer account before you be able to access the platform. So I'm trying to approve this on my authenticator. So you can see similar reports within my Power BI service. Okay, this is the report that we just built. If from here, I feel like I can add more to this, we have the edit button here. You can click on this and you'll be able to edit this or even build some additional visualizations on top of it. And all the pages are here. And then if you also want to share this report on Teams, we also have this chat in Teams. If you want to share this via email, you also have this share. You can even export the data. So when you click, you can export it into Excel, you can export it into PowerPoint, or you can export it as a PDF. Then when you go to File, see that we have Embed. So you can embed this on SharePoint Online, you can embed it on the website or portal, or you can publish it to the web, or you can go to the developer playground. Okay, all these are options that you can use to make yourself like options that you can use when you want to share the report with other people within your organization. If you want to get automatic insights, you can also use this option here, which applies AI to analyze the data and come up with any insights. So here is analyzing the data. Let's see if it will be able to come up with any insights. And these are the insights. So here, this is using machine learning to be able to come up with these insights. So recent trends in total. So total still started trending up on the June 23rd, rising by this amount in 6 months. Steep trend in total sales. Long-term trends in total sales, total analysis, total sales analysis. So everything is right from here. But this is using AI to be able to do all of this. Now, Once we have this data here, like I mentioned, you can export it. You can go to file and then embed this report on any website. If at any point in time, I feel like I need to edit this, I can click on this. And then I'll be able to edit this report just like building it in Power BI. Okay, the Power BI desktop. If I'm done, I just click save, and this report will be saved for future use. There may be some cases where you have the report on the Power BI service, but you don't have it on your laptop. You can come to File, and you see this option here. Download this file. You'll be able to download this file, and then you can save it on your PC. So that's how you'll be able to create report. This is a very basic report that we built together. How you'll be able to create reports within Power BI. If you want to learn more, you can go to firstman.io. We have a lot of courses that you can find on Power BI. Okay, so I'm going to end here. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Any questions? So here we have Power BI Analyst Program. When you go inside there, we have like 7 lessons on all the core pillars of Power BI: data visualization and reporting, projects, data transformation, data modeling, 10 days modeling tips with Power BI, analyzing data with DAX, and then fundamentals of Power BI. So you have a lot of resources on the firstman.io website that you can use to learn modern tech skills. Thank you so much for your time. So please, if you have any questions, let me know, then I'll be able to address them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas. I believe I see Canals. Oh, typing. Very valuable. Appreciated the presentation. So we just finished with Thomas's talk. We don't have time today to do our networking time, but I do want to remind you all that you do have the opportunity to get your own free Microsoft Office 365 developer account. This account comes with This account comes with E5 licensing. I think you get up to 25 user accounts inside of it. So this is a great opportunity for you to be able to practice and use some of the skills that you found out here, and even take your skill set further. So feel free to use this QR code to sign up for your own free Microsoft Office 365 developer account. Like I said, it's E5. And once you go to that page, you can sign up. It was great to have you all again this month. Appreciate you all coming. We look forward to seeing you next month. Please feel free to fill out our post-event survey to let us know how we've done, what improvements we can make. Make sure that you join us on the community page for discussions, for Q&A, also for those post announcements for the next community call, as well as the company page where the actual events for the next community calls are. But the next one will be Saturday, October the 26th, and we hope to see you all there. Thanks, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.